So hi, I'm Coco, this is Navona. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure, I'm Navona Gallegos, and we're here in Libreville, Gabon. I'm from Santa Fe, New Mexico, United States.
And you're a permaculture
I'm a permaculture designer and ecologist, studier and lover of soil.
Yeah. And I'm really happy to have Navona here in Libreville with me, number one. And number two, here on this Instagram Live where we can talk about what her experience has been like going through the Bwiti Missoko initiation, which she did 2 years ago here. And now she's back for the next level of that, which was to do the exit of the ceremony and also to go deeper with the Nyembe, which is another part of the tradition, which maybe we can talk about as well. So Navona, maybe do you want to tell us a little bit about how was your experience in the Bwiti Missoko, or why, maybe to start, like, why did you want to do it in the first place?
So I discovered Iboga through a retreat center in Costa Rica, and the way that came into my life was really synchronistic, and I basically just got an invitation to come to this retreat center and try Iboga. I had heard of it before, but I wasn't necessarily looking for it. And once I tried Iboga, I felt really called to come to Gabon and experience it within the context of the tradition that it's from, because the medicine is really powerful and did a lot of good for me, just like in and of itself. But I just had this sense that there'd be more with the tradition. And also, I found the Iboga so incredible for me from 2 nights of eating it that I just wanted to know what people who take this medicine all the time are like. So I ended up connecting with Coco and just talked on the phone once and had this feeling of like, oh yeah, these are the people I want to engage with. And I just took a leap of faith and showed up here. Had no idea what I was getting myself into.
What were you kind of hoping for? Because it's a long way to come, and it's a lot of money also to pay. It's a lot of energy to give. Like, what were you hoping you might get coming back?
Yeah, I had this idea that doing a Bwiti initiation was going to unlock something inside of me that would make life and the universe and the mysteries of life more clear, and would help me to be just a more badass person. That was this idea I had. And it's funny as I say this because the idea that I had was really naive in a way. Like, I had no idea what I was getting myself into, what the experience was going to be. I just knew it was going to be super intense, and I trusted that it was going to be really good. And as I'm listing those things, I think that that's actually what has happened. But it wasn't like this instant, like, take a pill and then all of a sudden, like, all your problems are solved and you're happy all the time kind of thing, which is a little bit of what I had in mind. Yeah,
I know, it's kind of what we're all hoping for. Just like, can I just do this one thing and then all my problems will be solved? Yeah, one of the things in this tradition that we talk about is that it's about practice. So it's not just about like a one-time experience or one event that changes everything, but it's like it's the beginning of something and then you continue. And so I feel like maybe that's a little bit what you're saying. It's like the initiation like catalyzed something, and then the changes were unfolding in your life after that.
Absolutely. Yeah, the initiation experience itself was really intense and profound and super challenging and super beautiful. And and then I realized afterwards that initiation is a beginning. And I feel like things changed inside me, but not in this way of like, all of a sudden I feel differently all the time or something like this. It was like things started to change inside me, and mostly things were revealed to me. Like more of my own self was revealed to me, including things that were uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And then I got to come home to my ordinary life and sort of see how situations in my life met me after having had this experience, and sort of like how my vibration post initiation interacted with my life and relationships and things. And then it's like this ongoing unfolding, and I feel like, yeah, it just keeps blossoming into
yeah. I love that they say that the initiation changes your vibration, and like everything is vibration. And so the opportunities you're seeking, the relationships you're seeking, the life you're seeking, it's a particular vibration. And then sometimes when we're having difficulty to access that, it's actually just like a problem of vibration, that we're not the right vibration to meet that kind of life. But when we go through initiation and we meet these parts of ourselves and we unlock these aspects of ourselves, so it changes your vibration, and then life changes because your vibration is different. So it's kind of like part of the science, the mystical science of the initiation, which is based on your vibration. And it takes work, like what I'm hearing you say during your experience as well. It wasn't just like, oh, I took a pill and then things were revealed to me. It's like you had to like work and sweat and meet these parts of yourself and do the practice, like shift things yourself. Maybe you can share a little bit more about how was the actual experience of the initiation, and like how would you describe it to somebody?
Yeah, I felt like I was stepping into a whole other world, because being in Libreville is one thing, and I haven't been in Africa very much, but that's one thing. But then going to the temple and doing the initiation is like a whole other world. And the community was a really big part of it for me. So all of the people who were there, and just seeing everyone, like the way people interact, and the tools that are used, and being in the forest. For me, it was really beautiful and sensational and really engaging. And I love nature, so that really worked for me. Like, you know, being in the forest and seeing all these tools that have been used for a really, really long time and are very much natural and analog, you know?
That's a good way to describe it. Super analog.
Yeah, and so that was profound. And then the experience of being in the initiation was, it's like you're getting worked on and worked with. It's very participatory. Like there was nothing, I wasn't like a passive observer of anything. It's like suddenly I'm in the middle of something, and things inside of me are changing, and it was all kinds of things. It was like the best party I've ever been to. Like all the things that I was trying to find, I realize now, in music festivals and electronic music and this kind of thing, raves and whatnot, like that times 100 was what is like the best party ever. Like I had this sensation that I still have in the ceremonies of like, oh, this is what humans are supposed to be doing, like this kind of like high energy, like you can just reach out and feel the energy, and it's all intentional. There's nothing like haphazard about it. It's very much like the songs have a science to them, and the rhythms have a science, and they work with, it's a science of being human. So it's like working on you on all these different levels. And so that was like inspiring, awe-inspiring, and then also really challenging, because there are ways that, like, I think as my vibration was changing, I was hitting the blocks inside me that were not with that vibration. So I got to experience some of the worst feelings that I've ever experienced, like some of the most challenging places that I've been to, including like difficult experiences in my life, difficult experiences on psychedelics, like all of that condensed into like some really hard places for me. And I don't know if it's this way for everyone, but I totally went there. And it was tough, and it was also very revealing. And after going through that, because there's no way out, like during the initiation I wanted to leave at one point, not in this like, okay, take me out, but like I was sort of like, I'm just gonna walk into the forest and see if I notice.
I'm just gonna escape.
This is a lot of work, maybe I want to do something else right now. But of course, I had to just go through it, and I'm so grateful that I did.
I mean, it's so normal to, I don't know, you kind of reach your capacity and then you're just done. You're like, I don't want to do this anymore. And it's like, the thing about initiation is that it's a microcosm of what your life is. So there's also times in your life where you're like, I'm just fucking done with this. Like, it's too much. I'm at my capacity. I didn't sign up for this. And so then you might just want to evacuate your life. And whatever way that is, that might be a relationship, it might be your work, it might be parenting, and it could like literally be your life as well. But the thing with initiation is that it brings you to these moments, and then you find you're so done, and then you find this extra strength, you find this like extra force inside yourself. And this is the cool thing, because like the force that you find inside yourself in initiation is then force that you take into your life. And the kind of like maybe fragility or weakness or wobbliness that you feel in your life or in your relationships or whatever, the force you find in initiation is then the force that you take into those places in your life. So it's kind of like gold mining in a way, where you're like going really deep to find this stuff, and then you take that with you. And the only way to find it is by fucking working your ass off to get it, like you have to be in the forest, like on your very, very edge, being like, I'm done. And then something inside you grows, and you find that and you get that, and then that's what you take with you in your life.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting because it's not like what was tough about it was the actual activities and things that are happening during the initiation. It wasn't like the activities. It was really what was inside of me that was coming up. That was really tough. And what's going on outside of you, or what was happening outside of me, was like a reflection of that to some extent. And then also I realize now, as I get deeper into the tradition, all these tools that are ingeniously designed to help with that process.
Exactly.
To like take you into it, and then also give you tools when you're in it to overcome whatever it is inside of you that's needing to be overcome.
That's the thing. It's like some people get attracted to doing initiation because of Iboga. And Iboga is one of the tools, but there are so many different tools in the process. And what like Navona is saying here as well is like, you're not just given the medicine and then like, okay, bye, enjoy the journey, we'll see you in a few hours. At each moment, because they know what's going to come, they know the kinds of things that can emerge from inside yourself when you're on the medicine. And so then they want to help you to go in the right direction, in the direction that you came for. So for that, there's different tools to help you on your way. And and you're right, it's like at each moment, they've been doing this for thousands of years. They know what they're doing. And so at each moment, there's something that's going to like just help you kind of like water going down the path that it's meant to go down. And it's like there's different things to kind of just like direct you vibrationally, your intention, your support when things come up. So it's a really ingenious tradition. And we were actually talking about this as well, there's the Iboga and then there's the tradition. And the tradition includes Iboga, but the tradition is not all about Iboga. And there's like so much. I mean, it's thousands and thousands of years of intelligence and wisdom. Like, that's what it is. But do you want to say a little bit about that? Like, what you'd notice about, or even like how it was for you, and like, because your first experience was the Iboga, and then you're like, but you were curious about the tradition, and then you met the tradition, and what was that like?
I think that Iboga is a really amazing plant, and the tradition that includes it is like just so much more than just that one medicine. There's so many different medicines within it. There's like the tools that are used, there's other plants that are used. If you think about other things that are often brought into transformative experiences, like breath work or shaking or all of this, all of that's in it, and like turn up because it's refined. It's not just like I feel like in the West, for example, we're sort of rediscovering shaking and looking at other traditions that have had shaking and trying to figure out like, okay, how are they doing it? But this is like, the dancing is like actually specifically has worked that out.
And they knew this thousands of years ago.
And so you're doing this, you're singing the songs for hours and hours, like you're doing all of these things while you're with the medicine and also not with the medicine. Like at this point, there are parts of the tradition I understand where you don't eat Iboga, and they're just as magical, if not even more out there in a way, even more like there's something even more potent about it because you haven't eaten Iboga and you're still like experiencing these changes in vibration and things. So I think that my experience eating Iboga in a retreat center was somewhat beneficial for me. It was a positive experience for sure. And initiation and working within the Bwiti tradition is like, that changed my life totally. Where eating Iboga helped me reset some things, it helped me understand some things. I worked through some things that were challenging for me in that moment, like emotionally processed some things. And I didn't feel like it changed my vibration. And really, like, the initiation absolutely changed my life in a very profound way, where I feel a lot stronger, and like Caitlin said, like it keeps unfolding. And so it's this practice that feels very to me like essentially human, and I felt really privileged to get to find a tradition that has that. And you can't do it without all of the parts of the tradition, all of the tools, the land, the people. I think that's the biggest thing, it's like, who's carrying the tradition? It's the people. And then just being around people who have been initiated and keep working in the tradition and have been steeped in it, since they were born. It's just, seeing how they interact, how they work with life, how they speak to each other, all of these things is also a huge part of the medicine.
Yeah, I totally agree. I feel like I learn so much just by being with the people that are here. It's kind of like, I don't know, like I kind of think about being like contact high, where you're just around people, and so then you're kind of like drinking in whatever they're on. And what they're on is just, I don't know, being real. Like the thing is like, the Bwiti comes from the forest. So everything inside the tradition, the knowledge, the wisdom, the practices, everything has been drawn from the forest. And literally, like the things that you're using are from the forest, but it's the wisdom from the forest. And the forest is basically an expression of the wisdom of the divine, and the wisdom of the divine is also the universe. So when we say the Bwiti comes from the forest, we're also saying the Bwiti comes from the universe. But with that, it's like we are nature, and the Bwiti tradition helps us connect back to our nature, the nature of the forest, the nature of the universe. It's all the same nature. But the problem that we often find in our lives is that when we get disconnected from our nature, we get disconnected from our rhythm, we get disconnected from our way, and that's when everything in our life kind of disintegrates. But this tradition reconnects us with our nature. And so when I'm with these people in the community, it's like they're connected to their nature. And so I'm like receiving this transmission, I guess, by being around people who are connected to their nature, and so therefore I'm also becoming more connected to my nature. And of course the initiation is a big part of that, but somehow being with these people is like, yeah, it's like just incredible learning. And yeah, but by transmission, like by osmosis. And yeah I think that learning, it happens on so many different levels. And we were talking earlier about how in the West a lot of learning is like academic learning, where something's with your mind.
With your mind, something's on a blackboard, it's on a computer, you like hear some information through language or numbers or whatever, and then you can regurgitate it and maybe you can use it a little bit. But this is like so this is a type of learning that meets different levels of yourself. And so there's all this knowledge and learning that happens in your body, in your spirit, in your brain, in all these different parts. And that's what I think makes it really deep for me. And what I'm really excited about personally is like continuing to unfold into those deeper parts of myself that I'm able to discover through the practices within the tradition that are specifically aimed at working with those different parts. And then also, like you were saying, just being around people who are really embodied in their emotions, their boundaries, their expression,
their strength, their sexuality.
And there's people aren't putting on. And that's been a big learning for me. Like, this is what it looks like to have real family and community. Community, like sisterhood, where people absolutely have your back, and they're putting a ton of energy into supporting you through transformation and through working through your stuff and becoming who you are. Like, they're putting a lot of energy into supporting you and each other. And and fully being themselves as they're doing it. There's
like not really masks and pretending and being someone that you think you're meant to be. It's like really just being natural, really just being in your blueprint, and trusting yourself and trusting like the flow, that when we're all in that, well, that's just being in the Tao. Like that's being in the Bwiti, that's being in the way of life. And it's being in nature, and there's something really natural about that. I'm wondering also if anybody has any questions. Of course you're welcome to ask them, and we'll see them here. So if there's anything you want to know from Navona or me about what the Bwiti Missoko initiation for women is like, we're more than happy to answer questions. Is there anything else in particular? We also have some other things, some notes that we can share more on, but is there anything in particular that you're kind of wanting to share about?
I don't know. Do you want to something?
We were talking before as well about indigenous culture, and and I mean, also we're white people coming into this tradition, and it's often a question people have about like cultural appropriateness for working with a African spiritual tradition, and also what it is to be with an indigenous community, with an indigenous practice which has been practiced for thousands of years, and you can feel it. It's not something that's like was lost and then rediscovered. It's intact since the beginning, and you can feel this inside. But do you wanna share something about what it's been like being a foreign person coming in, or what your sense is about like the community and foreigners?
Yeah, that was something that was challenging for me at the beginning because of my own stuff around feeling like my own personal issues, or that looked something like feeling like I wasn't part of a group, not necessarily this group, but in general, and having that triggered by suddenly being in a place where I don't speak the language, I don't speak French, and so not being able to understand people, seeing people interacting in totally different ways that were, just confusing at first, or I didn't understand, like, are people mad, or like what do they expect of me, what's going on here? And all of that has very much been part of the medicine for me. Absolutely. I'm like, wait, what am I supposed to do right now? What's going on?
Yeah, like just insecurities and things that get triggered.
Yeah, like everyone's laughing. Are they laughing at me? And then like, how do I feel if they're laughing at me? Is that a problem? Is it okay? You know, these kinds of things. So that's like just stuff that comes up. And it's not just, what I understand is it's not just coming in as someone from a different country, but also now that I've seen other initiations, I realize that it's something I think for most people, you know, maybe it's a bit different if someone was born into the tradition, but when people who are from Gabon also come for initiation, they're totally like all of their...
On another planet as well. Like, what the hell? Get me out of here.
Yeah, because, it's like the medicine and the specifics of what happens in the initiation are meant to take down your defenses and show you what is up inside of you. Mm-hmm. And that looks so different for so many different people, and it's really cool to see. It's cool to experience. It's really nice to witness as well. And like what you were saying about it being natural, that's what is really landing for me on this trip, is how it's natural and it's alive. Yeah, like you were saying, it's not like a revival. It's not like, there's nothing grasping about it, is what I'm noticing. There's nothing like, oh, we're trying to recreate something. It's like very much happening and continuous. And for me, that's really, really special, because coming from the southwest of the US, there's a lot of traditions that are working to revive themselves, and that's, I think, a beautiful thing, and I think a really necessary thing. But I hadn't really experienced truly alive, like uninhibited indigenous human culture, I think, until I stepped into the Missoko community. Yeah. And it's cool because I'd always wanted this, you know, before I knew about Iboga or anything like that. I'd always, just since I was a little kid, had this fantasy of like, what would it be like to be with people who are fully, like, their full capacities as natural humans. And it took a moment for me to understand that that's what was happening, because when I first got here and I saw cell phones and cars and beer in the ceremony, you know, like someone might whip out their phone and text somebody or something. I was like, oh.
Contemporary society, no.
Yeah, but then it's been really eye-opening for me and useful for me to realize that, like, my nature isn't just found in the woods. It comes from the woods. Like, I come from the earth, we all come from the earth, and of course being in something that's not a city can be really helpful for bringing up, you know, parts of myself that need expressed, that need to be explored or whatever. And also I need support and magic and tradition in my life, you know, and in my daily life and in things that I do with my work that involves money and relationships and houses and all these things. And it's really cool to me how this tradition has, like, I don't know if syncretized is the right word, because syncretization implies the religions, but it's more like just incorporated life as it is. And so people, you know, they live in Libreville and they do modern things, and the tradition, there's nothing contrary about that. It's not like you take off your city face and you go in to the temple. It's like the Bwiti is there everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's kind of in the theme of it being natural. Like nature just kind of, like, if you look at a forest and you put some kind of, like, I don't know, contemporary thing inside of it, like the forest just kind of like wraps around it, and it's kind of like this tradition's done the same as well. It's like, yeah, it's not blocked it or gotten in the way or what is it, like made it dirty or like did something that just kind of destroyed it. Like it just kind of is like the Bwiti tradition is bigger than any cell phone, and it just rolls with it.
Yeah, I feel like incorporation is the word that comes to mind, which reminds me of a lot of permaculture work and composting and stuff. It's like, okay, now this is present in our lives, things like cell phones and all manner of things that weren't here 100 years ago. Yeah. So what does Bwiti, like the Tao or the way or whatever, how do we interact with this?
Yeah. Yeah. And something that's interesting as well is, I mean, I can't say about the rest of Africa. I haven't been to all of the other countries in Africa, but something in Gabon is that there's a lot of dignity here. And it's colonized by first the Portuguese and then the French. And so they speak French here, along with all the other local dialects. But like as Navona's describing the tradition, it's like it was never lost. And so it was never had to be refound or went through this process of like they tried to actually when colonization happened and the Christians came and understood that this was something against what was being taught in the Bible, which is actually not totally true. But so there was some action to try and destroy the Bwiti tradition, but it remained, and there's this sense of aliveness inside of it. Not I don't know, I guess what I'm trying to say is like it's not like it was lost and then there was this kind of victimhood that came through it, and then now we're trying to like rebuild it. It's just like always stayed really strong, and somehow you can feel this inside it as well. Like it's just like super alive. And this has also been cool to experience indigenous power and the potential of it without the pain and the kind of like suffering that's gone on in so many other parts of the world. And so in terms of vibration, it's also really nice to just like keep amplifying this vibration of like wholeness and strength and dignity and power, which is, I think, in the code of all of these indigenous traditions. And it's just like, maybe it's actually kind of a relic on this planet where so many indigenous communities have been like really negatively affected. And then this is one where it's actually like, I don't know, remained just super strong.
Yeah, there's no victimhood on the scene at all. In terms of just like personal interactions also, you know, like I see that reflected in the way people carry themselves, and there's no shame in anybody's game at all. Quite the contrary, and that's really inspiring for me, and like really an amazing example of how to be a human being. Just like no denial of like feelings or instincts, and that exists within like a code of conduct, and seeing that those things aren't contradictory at all, but rather like the social code supports the structure that allows people to fully be themselves and to fully flourish. That's something that I really appreciate, where I feel like in the West there's a lot of sort of contradiction between like codes and laws and society versus like individual expression.
Yeah, that's so true. And then we get all like confused. And yeah. And there's something, I guess, like whole, and like there's like the person as whole, and then how we express ourselves. It's like as the whole, it's working, and there's not parts that are like excluded. And so yeah, there's just like a kind of, all the parts are just working together, which is if you look at the church, it's not like this. If you look at the way we work in government, it's not like this. In the West, like so many places where wholeness is just not a thing, and especially not inside of ourselves. Like there's so much resistance to parts of ourselves. And in the Bwiti tradition, it's like, that's the thing, it's the medicine, it's not just the Iboga, it's like this, it's the principles that they've cultivated. And if you think about it, it's like these are the things that like the mothers and fathers thousands of years ago, they were like, okay, if there's one thing that we can give to our children that will help them to be powerful beings, people who can live their lives as good as they possibly can, this is what we can give them. This is the principles, the wisdom, the kind of the keys. And so this is in the tradition, like many of these keys, so that when you're engaging with the tradition, you receive them, you can like eat them in, embody them, and then live them in your life, and then you've got them, and then you give them to your children. And that's how this tradition has passed on. It's like the ultimate inheritance, basically. And it's very cool that we get to experience it, that they're open to sharing it with people who need it, which include us. We had a couple of questions here as well, wondering about the role of some of the other plants in the tradition. What did you notice about that?
Yeah, there's other plants involved in every aspect of it, from the construction of the temple to cleansing rituals, things that you eat to cleanse your body, things that you wash yourself with to cleanse you, the whole initiation. Can I talk about Songi?
Yeah, so go ahead.
Yeah, so Iboga and all these other things, like the way fire is used, the songs, the musical instruments, all of these things, what I understand is that they are, throughout the initiation, preparing you to eat something that it's different for men and women, but that you eat at the end, that's made of many different plants. And that's like the actual, like,
the real
that's the medicine.
Yeah, that's the real medicine.
Yeah, and it doesn't make you trip out or something like this. It helps you to be able to hear the messages of the Bwiti more clearly in yourself once it's in your system. But you have to go through all of this stuff to get to those plants.
Yeah, so basically a lot of the forest is being used, as you say, like from housing the temple to what goes inside of you, what goes on you. At every different point, the forest is being used. There's another question: in what form does the medicine come? Is it capsules or powder? It is given in it's Iboga is the bark of the root of the Iboga tree, and it's shaved down and then dried and cut up really small, and then so it's kind of made into like a kind of powder, but it's not really a powder, it's like a thick kind of lumpy powder. And they give it to you in spoons, so then you get the spoon
you eat it.
and you eat that stuff, and you try and get it down as fast as you possibly can. Is there any special attention to food or fasting as part of the initiation practice? So just before you're starting your initiation, you are fasting, and also doing some purification rituals. So the week before you are in the initiation, you're starting with these purification rituals, and that's really to start to prepare you energetically, spiritually, and physically for the process. So if you can imagine like you're going for surgery, spiritual surgery, you want to first talk to the doctor and make sure you're in like a good clinic where they know what they're doing, and then you want to get cleaned up before there's any kind of like opening of your system. And so this is what, and we're back. So there's the purification rituals. There's also cleansing. So there's cleansing your energetic system as well as your physical system. And then there's during the actual initiation, you're not eating or drinking anything. So it's like for women, it's Thursday night, Friday night until Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon. No eating or drinking at all, just the Iboga. And then for the men, it's the Friday and Saturday night. Did you want to say something?
Yeah, what was I going to say?
About fasting? Purification.
Yeah, no, about purification, yeah. I found the fasting surprisingly easy. I think it's different for different people.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, with the Iboga, it just like, there's so much energy in the wood that you just like... But yeah, what you were saying about cleansing was something that I found the second time around, now that I'm in Gabon again, was that some nice advice I received was to do a lot of trauma healing work before coming back for more initiations. And because of course the initiation addresses things that's in your system. And I've also found that incorporating other practices, breath work and other healing modalities, body work, this kind of thing has helped me a lot to just get deeper, like when I'm with the medicine or in the ceremony, to just be able to, like, rather than hitting all of these speed bumps in my system, sort of like work out some of those speed bumps so that I can go even deeper.
Yeah, actually I think, and maybe that's a good place for us to close our talk here. Of course, if you have more questions, put them in the comments and we can respond to you there. But I think that's a good place to kind of like, it's like where you go in initiation and then how to continue the work, because initiation is actually just the beginning. It's opening something. It's doing a lot to also close a bunch of stuff too. But it's like an opening into the new vibration of you. And so as Navona is describing, it's like there's a whole lot of things to do in preparation for like the trauma work, but also after, because there'll be a new vibration that you're stepping into, and old patterns that still also need your attention as you step into this new way of doing you.
I saw someone ask about if you can't get the wood down.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So what if you can't get the lumpy stuff down? I got sick and couldn't take more of the medicine. It happens.
I got sick during my initiation. I ate, I don't know how many, some, and then threw up a bunch, and then there's different they've been doing this for a long time, and so they have lots of ingenious ways of helping you get the medicine down.
Yeah. If at a certain point, the other interesting thing about this initiation is they don't just like give you so much medicine till you can't like say your own name. They give you enough medicine until you start seeing what you need to see. So it's really practical. They're not trying to just like spoon you as much as they can. But if they can see that you need more medicine, then they will find the way to help you to get it inside of you. Yeah, but it's not easy for anyone. And that's kind of part of the point of it as well. Like if Iboga tasted like candy, everyone would have it. And you need to really want it. You need to fucking really want to eat this stuff, because when it's in your mouth, you like, even Navona was saying the other day, she had it again at the temple, and was like, oh my God, why am I eating this? Like, no, I will go home. Like, this is too much. But there's something, of course, like this resistance to it. But then there's something deeper inside that's saying, I want the answers. I want what's on the other side of this. And it also only lasts a short time. So if you can just breathe it down, then you'll get to the other side.
Yeah, every time I eat something that's more than like a microdose, every single time I have this thought, I'm never doing this again. Not the whole experience of Iboga or the whole ceremony, but like the actually like putting Iboga in my mouth and swallowing it. I always think, nope, no, this is probably I'm done for like, I think that for like 60 seconds, and then it's fine, and then like I'm in the ceremony and I'm like, oh yes, please, more Iboga.
Yeah, totally. Someone's saying here, makes sense. I feel like a lot of the trauma came up in my previous initiation, so it makes sense to do more body work before and after, for sure. Yeah, I think it's like one of the things in general, these big experiences, like also in the tradition, you can come for initiation just the one time and get what you need to get out of it. But in the way that it's been practiced for thousands of years, they've done it. They stay inside of it, like they keep coming to the initiations. Once you're initiated, you can come and support. So you're not eating Iboga, as much Iboga the next time round, but you're having a little bit and supporting the new Banzi, the new person getting initiated, to go through their process. But you're still in it. You're still there with your questions. You're still there with you're moving, you're breathing, you're shaking, you're moving. So it's like, it's not meant to necessarily be like, do this once and then you're set for life. It's like, do this once. The process opens, the change is in effect, and now keep going.
Yeah.
Be in the practice.
Yeah, and I think that keeping going looks different for everyone, where some people, it seems like, take it into their lives wherever they live, and the lessons that they learn keep unfolding and they keep doing it and don't come back. And then some people do come back, and I think the community part of it is so potent for me, because I think that something around like what's natural and what allows us to be our full selves as humans is community and family. And family is huge in the tradition, and it's you become brothers and sisters.
Yes,
with your community, and you do all this healing, you experience, you go through challenges, you heal, you learn things about yourself, not just by yourself or like one-on-one with a therapist, but you do it in community.
Yes.
And that just amplifies it so much.
Yeah, there's something about and maybe something that we lost a little bit in the West, this kind of like individualization and being solitary, being individual. And there's something about being in community and doing things together, and like you learn a lot about sisterhood and brotherhood in the process. In fact, the whole tradition is really built on sisterhood and brotherhood, and family. So yeah, it's a huge part of the process, but then also continuing, like not being alone in your journey onward. Yeah. Well, thank you everyone for joining us on this call, and thank you, Navona. It's been really, really nice to talk about this. So yeah, if you have more questions, feel free to put them into the comments and we'll respond to you there. If you want to get initiated, we have a couple of spaces left for Bwiti Missoko, which is what we were just talking about, and also Bwiti Fang, which we'll also talk about maybe in another Instagram live soon. So if you're interested, please get in touch, because there's just a couple of spaces left for that. And thank you everybody. We'll see you in Gabon.